doing today. I uh, had applied for a job on Indeed with a breakfast house, actually, and like a week ago. Uh, yeah, it was for Dish, full time. Starting pay $16 an hour. I said, yeah, that's good. Um, so uh, anyway, I went ahead and called over to the place after I did my Indeed application and uh, talked to the manager for a few minutes. And he told me the pay and that yes, it was full time and all that stuff. But he had hired somebody but was still looking for another full timer in Dish. And I said, well, that works for me. So he wanted me to come by today and do an interview. So okay. When I talked to him, a week ago, or whatever it was. And so I was in the area and I said, I ought to just pop on over there and see what the deal is. Uh, Nice place. And my superiors would be from my era of learning how to do food and beverage and not with the telephone in the hand kind of thing. So that was kind of cool. Spent 2 hours interview the two different managers, manager and assistant manager, both very, very nice. But to get down to the nitty gritty, they had offered me a job for like 15 an hour. It's 14 or 15 an hour. They really wanted me to be a hostess instead of dish. And I said, well, I mean, I can float, I can do whatever. And then they have a pool system um, of the tips. And then it's like 1% of the bartenders and I think 2% of the servers or something. It's automatically taken out of their pay or something. And then it's added to your pay. The pay is every 2 weeks. That was kind of a downer. But uh, because I got storages to make on the first. So anyway, you know, she's like, we do our payroll through this payroll company on the phone and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay. And so, and they offered to get me my serve safe stuff if I need that. Not a problem. Real easy. I'm like, okay, cool. Um, but when it come down to nitty gritty, they didn't need another dish person. Um, so I guess that's why they pushed me onto the hostess thing. And they usually run two hostesses. There's no playing on the phone kind of thing there. It's just strictly taking care of business. Sometimes you might have to bust a table or two. Um, and the place is normally quite busy. And with spring break, it's terrible busy. They're like people line up like across the parking lot. I'm like, okay. The only thing is that after like 2 hours of interview, these two different managers, they're telling me that they can offer me like 8 to 2 p.m. and like, you know, 3 shifts a week right now. And it's like, ooh. And if I accept that job, then I block out all these other jobs that I've applied for in management and stuff that are full time. And I really would like full time so I can get medical and all that other cool stuff. So I really need that. But I just really need to be on board with, you know, one main job. And then I can work, a second job, like stocking, whatever, on the side. And so, um, yeah. So that's where I'm at. I was really kind of bummed, man. Because, I kept asking them about the hours and paying. They're like, oh, you'll make, almost $20 an hour. with your tips and your pay and your paycheck. And it'd be really good and all that. But the problem is, you know, at this point in time, we're talking, like I said, can you tell me like exactly how many hours? Like, are we talking 10, 15 hours a week? Are we talking 20 hours a week? Are we talking 25? She's like, well, be full time, when we're in season. And their season, they're claiming is like 4 to 6 weeks. Right now, it's starting to go into season. It's going in early this year. So, that kind of concerns me. But their records and books show what it shows for last year, so that's what they're basing a lot of that on. But uh, it's a real quick, clean job. They're pretty nice, but the problem is, I was like, I hate to commit, and especially after all this time in this interview and stuff, I hate to commit for a job that's only going to be a couple days a week when I've got bills coming first. And um, she's like, but then it would end up in full time. And it's like, yeah, but the problem is, like right now, I really need to latch on to something that's full time. And I've got another job hanging in the wind right now that I applied for that they begged me to apply. And I just went in that store because I was looking for a new side bag. And I was kind of looking around before I had the money to get one because I need one really bad. And I was checking a lot of different places to see who had it, going to sporting goods and everything. And ended up finding out that they really need employees and they got full time and they pay by the week. And, the discount's pretty darn good and all that kind of stuff. So it was like, if these people really need me, then I really need them. So I immediately, applied and stuff, and you have to do it twice. You have to do it on Indeed, and then you have to go to their website. And I did all that. But they scheduled my interview out way out on the 17th, and that store is like really slow. So, I would kind of like to see if I can get in there earlier, especially as friendly as the manager was, really want me to, apply ASAP. So, anyway, I called over there a little while ago and talked to somebody, and they said, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." So they really need people to work. And the cool thing is, it's really changed a lot of staff's changed out because normally when you go in that store, they're pretty obnoxious and they're not helpful at all. And so apparently they've got this new manager, and the few people that were there were very nice. They had very skeleton crew. So they have several jobs available. They have some kind of like a stocking position, the acceptance position when the shipments come in, so you get all the stuff ready to go on the floor kind of deal, which I don't mind doing that either. Um, so they have several positions. I'll just have to see what's good for me. They have a couple management positions. Um, so I have to see what the deal is on the money and the hours and all that good stuff. Um, and that if you want, you can change positions or something. So anyway, I left a message. The guy that I talked to sounded really excited and said, "Look, manager's on lunch, and I'm going to give them your number so they can call you straight away today." So, and I'm right in the area. So, I'm getting ready to go into Fort Walton here shortly because I'm going to go down to the gym and all that cool stuff. So, anyway, I just thought I'd give you guys an update. Um, Talked to a lady last night, and she said I need to uh, contact and sue through the EEOC big time about that other job. And I researched a little bit of that. They say the EEOC is really slow and all that stuff, but there's a ton of lawyers out there that will do it. And say I have a really good case. It's something called retaliation. and possible discrimination. I don't know. But it was definitely retaliation. There's no doubt at all. Um, Especially when HR promised me I wouldn't get fired, and then I did. You know, in a very short order. So anyway, that's what we got so far. So I just want to touch base with you guys and let you know what's going on. I'm avidly applying for lots of jobs and just trying to see what I can pick up. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a really great, wonderful, and blessed day. I love you. Do something kind for a stranger. I will see you in the next one.